The letter A is the first letter of the English alphabet. It represents a fundamental sound in the English language. The word apple is a common example starting with the letter A. An apple is a round fruit, often red or green in color. Understanding the pronunciation of ah is crucial for early literacy. Visual aids, like a picture of an apple, help associate the letter with a concrete object. The letter B is presented as the focal point for learning. The word ball is introduced as an example associated with the letter B. A visual representation of a colorful ball accompanies the word for enhanced understanding. Clear pronunciation of both B and ball is provided to aid in correct articulation. The letter C is presented as the focal point. The word cat is displayed to provide an example. An image of a cat accompanies the word for visual association. Clear pronunciation of the letter C is demonstrated. The pronunciation of the word cat is also clearly articulated. The letter D is presented as the focal point. The word dog is introduced as an example. An image of a dog accompanies the word for visual association. The pronunciation of the letter D is clearly articulated. The pronunciation of the word dog is also clearly articulated. This method combines visual and auditory learning for better understanding. The letter E is the focus of this lesson. The word elephant is used as an example. An image of an elephant accompanies the word. The pronunciation of the letter E will be articulated. The pronunciation of the word elephant will also be clearly demonstrated. This helps in associating the letter with a familiar word and image. The letter F is the focus of this educational segment. A visual representation of the letter F is prominently displayed. The word fish is introduced as an example. An image of a fish accompanies the word to aid understanding. Clear pronunciation of the letter F is provided. The pronunciation of the word fish is also clearly articulated. The letter G is a fundamental component of the English alphabet. The word goat begins with the letter G. A goat is a domestic animal known for its milk and meat. Understanding the pronunciation of G is key to reading words like goat. The letter H is the 8th letter in the English alphabet. It is a consonant and is often used at the beginning of words. The word hen begins with the letter H. A hen is a female chicken. Listen carefully to the pronunciation of hay and hen. The letter I is introduced as a fundamental element of the alphabet. The word ice cream is used as an example word starting with the letter I. A visual representation of an ice cream cone accompanies the word for better understanding. Clear pronunciation of the letter I is demonstrated. The pronunciation of the word ice cream is also clearly articulated. The letter J is presented visually. The word joker is displayed as an example. An image of a joker accompanies the word. The pronunciation of the letter J is clearly articulated. The pronunciation of the word joker is also clearly articulated. This helps in associating the letter J with its sound and a common word. The letter K is presented visually. The word kite is introduced as an example. An image of a kite accompanies the word for visual association. Clear pronunciation of K and kite is provided. The letter L is introduced as a fundamental element of the alphabet. The visual representation of the uppercase L is prominently displayed. The word lion is presented as an example starting with the letter L. A clear image of a lion accompanies the word to aid in visual association. The pronunciation of the letter L is clearly articulated for auditory learning. The pronunciation of the word lion is also clearly articulated. The letter M is introduced as a fundamental element of the alphabet. The word monkey is used as an example to illustrate the letter M. A clear image of a monkey accompanies the word to aid visual association. The pronunciation of the letter M is clearly articulated for auditory learning. The pronunciation of the word monkey reinforces the sound of the letter M in context. The letter N is the focus of this educational segment. The word nest is used as an example to illustrate the letter. A visual representation of a nest accompanies the word for better understanding. Clear pronunciation of the letter N is provided. The pronunciation of the word nest is also clearly articulated. The letter O is visually presented as the focal point. The word orange is introduced as an example. A clear image of an orange accompanies the word. The pronunciation of the letter O is clearly articulated. The pronunciation of the word orange is also clearly articulated. This approach aids in associating the letter with a common word and its sound. The letter P is introduced as the focal point. The word parrot is presented as an example starting with P. A visual representation of a parrot accompanies the word. Clear pronunciation of the letter P and the word parrot is provided. The letter Q is presented visually. The word queen is shown as an example. An image of a queen accompanies the word. The correct pronunciation of the letter Q is demonstrated. The pronunciation of the word queen is also clearly articulated. The letter R is introduced as the focal point. The word rabbit is presented as an example. A clear image of a rabbit accompanies the word for visual association. The pronunciation of the letter R is clearly articulated. The pronunciation of the word rabbit is also clearly articulated. This method combines visual and auditory learning for effective memorization. The letter S is the focus of this introduction. The word sun is used as an example. An image of the sun accompanies the word sun. The pronunciation of the letter S is clearly articulated. The pronunciation of the word sun is also clearly articulated. This helps in associating the letter S with a familiar word and image. The letter T is presented as the focal point. The word tiger is introduced as an example, starting with the letter T. A visual representation of a tiger accompanies the word for better understanding. Clear pronunciation of the letter T and the word tiger is demonstrated. The letter U is presented visually. The word umbrella is introduced as an example. An image of an umbrella accompanies the word. Clear pronunciation of U and umbrella is provided. The letter V is presented as the focal point. The word van is introduced as an example. A visual representation of a van accompanies the word. Clear pronunciation of the letter V is demonstrated. The pronunciation of the word van is also clearly articulated. This method combines visual and auditory learning for effective memorization. The letter W is presented visually. The word watch is displayed as an example. An image of a watch accompanies the word. The pronunciation of the letter W is clearly articulated. The pronunciation of the word watch is also clearly articulated. This helps associate the letter W with its sound in a common word. The letter X is presented for recognition. The word xylophone is introduced as an example. A xylophone image accompanies the word for visual association. Clear articulation of the letter X sound is provided. Pronunciation of xylophone is demonstrated for phonetic understanding. This method combines visual and auditory learning for effective memorization. The letter Y is the focal point of this introduction. The word yak is presented as an example. An image of a yak accompanies the word for visual association. Clear pronunciation of the letter Y is provided. The pronunciation of the word yak is also clearly articulated. This approach combines visual and auditory learning methods. The letter Z is presented as the focal point. The word zebra is introduced to exemplify a word starting with Z. A visual representation of a zebra accompanies the word for enhanced understanding. Clear pronunciation of the letter Z is demonstrated. The pronunciation of the word zebra is also clearly articulated.